I'm going to try this before I actually start saying anything.
Yeah.
I'm going to enjoy listening to that. I just hate that sound.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. I won't do that again. I saw the look in your eye when I did that. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the episode of the Plank Code podcast. Today I'm joined once again by Zara. You can find her on Instagram at superswede_. She's a personal trainer, vegan nutritionist, Flex Ologist, which I look forward to hearing all about. And more importantly, she does a lot of animal rescue. Zara, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Once
Once
Happy
again,
to be
yeah.
here.
We tried this about 2 months ago. It didn't quite go to plan.
We just ate way too much,
Yeah.
talked way too much.
And we are at Miss Tess in the Taj Hotel. We're enjoying some beautiful cocktails at the moment. Try not to slurp on it because Zara gave me a killer look earlier when I did that. Anyway, so let's get into it. Start with the most important thing. Where'd you get your protein from? No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to get into that today. We're going to talk a lot more about the interesting things. So
Yeah.
why did you become vegan?
Well, because I've been rescuing animals for many, many years. And I've always had this kind of a feeling that obviously I was a hypocrite at the back of my mind, or double standards. I was rescuing some animals, but I was eating some animals. So we got this beautiful thing called dissonance, obviously, where I could be petting a really cute chicken, and I'd be like, "Oh my god, I could never eat you," and someone would give me a plate of chicken, and I would eat it. I would wolf it down. So I didn't connect the two, and I kind of blinded myself to that side of obviously the industry, as many of us do, to protect ourselves, to be able to continue with what we're doing. And then I was with my friend in Orlando a couple of years ago, and What the Health had just came out, and he was like, "Let's just watch it, let's just see what it's about." And I didn't know that he was a budding vegan, so he was kind of transitioning, but he wasn't really talking about it too much. So I guess he's like the kind of perfect vegan that you want to meet, because he was like very inquisitive, and he's like, "Oh, what do you think about this?" And so I was like, okay, I felt not threatened in that sense. I felt that I wasn't judged. So we watched that, and I was like, what the fuck have I been doing?
They should rename
all
it
these
actually, What the
years?
Fuck?
Yeah, literally. I was like, what the fuck have I been doing all these years? And it was an eye-opener. And I mean, I can't watch animal abuse videos as is. It stays with me for days. It absolutely fucking breaks my heart. And makes me sad for days, literally. So I try to avoid it at all costs. So seeing that, it kind of spurred me on to start looking into the subject more. And I guess it had opened a part that I could then not close again, I couldn't be that ignorant again, to go back to just ignoring the fact of the cruelty of the industry and just the general, superiorness that we feel that we have over other living beings. So I started, I looked into, actually whilst I was still in Orlando, we also watched Gary Yourofsky.
The greatest speech you'll ever hear.
The greatest, which is literally
Yeah. I'll
the
put a link
greatest
to that
fucking
actually
speech
down
I've
below.
ever heard.
Whether you're vegan or not, if you have actually seen it, you should watch it again. I've seen it like 4 or 5 times. Every
Me
time it
too.
gives me shivers.
Oh my god! And this is one I recommend to people to watch initially. I'm like, you know what? Just watch it. You can't argue with any point that he says. It's just straight out there. He's not trying to make any fucking money.
You can argue with his sense of
It's just
dress.
a lecture in a university.
You can argue with a sense of dress.
I can't even remember what he
Really?
was wearing, because I was like,
It's
fuck
the
this
sandals
guy.
and the 3/4 trousers. Now, after the third, fourth time I've been watching it, it's starting.
Oh really? Now you start noticing other things. Okay.
And even the people in the crowd, like every time I know at this certain moment someone's going to do something, I'm like. Anyway, but still, that doesn't take away from the fact that it's incredible. The
Yeah,
speech that he
absolutely.
gave. Yeah.
And this is the thing, like, we can argue a lot with documentaries and this and that, they're trying to make money or whatever. But he's not trying to release any books. He's even saying it himself. He's like, I'm not gaining anything from this. I just want to put everything out there just for you guys to see. Start investigating and doing your own research and educating yourselves, just to plant that seed.
And he's coming at it from more of an ethical side and a moral side, and you can't really debate that.
No, exactly.
A lot of people debate the health aspects of it, which I'm sure you get a lot with your work.
Absolutely.
But when it comes to morals and ethics, everything he says is absolutely spot on, and you can't go against it.
That is obviously the reason why I'm vegan. if I was vegan for my health, I would probably be munching on chicken right now.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I don't care about my health, but I like chicken. I like the taste of meat. I've always eaten meat. And I do get a lot of people coming to me saying, oh, but you know, in my culture, it's like we've been eating meat since I was a child. I'm like, I'm Swedish. The staple dish on our food, on our table was meat 3 times a day. Yeah. So we're having like sandwiches with even horse meat in the morning. We sell horse meat in the supermarkets. I don't know.
I don't
if
know
they
why I'm
do it
surprised by
anymore.
that anyway, but
Yeah, it's just like ham. You go and buy like ham,
Yeah.
thinly sliced. And you have, I mean, meatballs is our national dish. You know, so when people come and say to me, they're like, oh yeah, but you know, it's very difficult in my culture. I'm like, I feel you. I'm exactly the same.
But which culture would you say it would be easy in? Because I mean,
Exactly.
I was in
Well,
the UK.
I
Our
mean,
culture is pretty much, you know,
it's
meat
it's
as
the
well.
same everywhere, but
all
this is, I
European
find
dishes.
that this is an excuse for a lot of people.
Yeah, everyone
it's
uses
just
it.
another way around to kind of. And to be honest, I'm not taking anything away from how difficult it is to go vegan, and breaking traditions and religions and culture, you know, taste buds and everything. I mean, the first Christmas I went back to Sweden after I'd gone vegan, I knew it was going to be the ultimate test, because we eat ham, we eat, you know, all this amazing food. And I think everyone has that kind of attachment to Christmas food. It's
Of
like
course, yeah.
very
Brings back
comfort
memories
food.
as
Yeah,
well. and
exactly.
Beyond the taste, it
Yeah,
reminds you
yeah.
of your past, your childhood.
We have a lot of meatballs, sausages, and everything. So that was a test. And I remember my mum, she was like, Zara, no one's going to know. You can have a little meatball here and there. I'm like, this is not why. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not doing it for anyone else. I'm doing it for me. So on the flight back from Orlando, and I was not vegan. Obviously, I didn't go vegan overnight in Orlando, but I had 2 days left. And on the flight back with Emirates, they served some chicken, I'm guessing. And I was like, I can't eat that. I can't touch that. And since that day,
Was that because it was actually chicken, or just because the plain food is terrible?
probably a bit of both.
Yeah.
But I said to myself, I'm not touching that ever again. I can't, and I haven't touched it ever since.
So when was this?
This was 2.5 years ago now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you've come a long way since then, obviously, but you've always been into animal welfare and animal rescue as well.
Yeah, and to be
before that.
honest, the biggest change for me, because everyone always asks me, like, how do you feel physically and this and that? For me, I mean, it wasn't that big of a change in terms of how I felt physically. I mean, I've always eaten healthy anyway, so it's not like I was eating a lot of junk food before. I was probably eating more junk food now. I was saying that the other day when I was into veganity. I would never eat chili fries when I was a non-vegan. But now I'm like, because I can have it, I'm like, yay!
Yeah, you want to
Let's
try
have-
everything, don't you?
Let's have drumsticks.
Yeah.
And vegan, like
My
chili
logic
fries.
was, well, if it's vegan, it must be healthy. You know? So I was just eating anything.
Yeah.
So I was pretty much feeding off like chips and
Doesn't work
more
like that.
chips.
Yeah,
It doesn't actually
exactly.
work that way, does it?
And also, this is where I find a lot of people go wrong when they tell me, like, yeah, I tried going vegan, but you know, it didn't work out for me. I'm like, okay, what did you eat? Because especially if you don't cook, it can be a challenge. I love cooking, so I love coming up with new recipes, and you know, the amazing people that we follow on Instagram, like Nutty Vegan, and you know, Newbie Vegan Diaries. Like
Yeah, just in Dubai there are so many.
Yeah, and I always tell everyone, I'm like, go follow these girls because they upload recipes and they give you ideas and this and that, and this is how you learn to know what to eat. So a lot of vegans or people that are trying to go vegan just eat that fries, and they have like, probably now it's going to be a lot of Beyond Burger and all that, and it's not holy.
Have you tried the Beyond Meat Burger?
Yes,
And what do you think about it?
I love it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Because it really divides a lot of people, even on
Absolutely,
taste
absolutely.
and on ethics as well. In a way.
For sure. No, I love it.
Yeah.
To be honest, because obviously, as I said, like I've always enjoyed eating meat.
Yeah.
I've always enjoyed the taste of steak and burgers and stuff. So if it's something that tastes like it and no one had to be harmed or killed for it, then I'm all for it. For me,
Yeah.
I'm not saying I recommend that for everyone. And actually, I have a lot of respect for people that eat completely raw, vegan. You know, that is very beneficial for your body. As a
Have you tried
nutritionist,
doing
I'm
raw
honest.
vegan?
No, I haven't. Because I love my food too much.
Yeah.
I love eating and I love cooking. So for me, obviously I've eaten raw. It's like when people saying, I've eaten vegan once. Like, yeah, you've had a fucking banana. Like, yeah, I think you have.
Yeah, it's
But
true.
so, of course, I've eaten raw vegan food and I enjoy it. Like, you go to certain places here and they serve raw food, like Life in One and that. So, absolutely. But as a whole diet for me, maybe some point in the future. I'll never say never. But currently I'm enjoying the amazing new concepts that are coming out and what we as vegans have to choose from now compared to only a couple of years back.
I mean, we've been vegan pretty much about the same amount of time, about 2.5 years as well. And I think even back then, just in Dubai, like the options that you have is even, like now we're in Miss Tess in Business Bay, like they recently launched a vegan menu, which is great, by the way, you should definitely check it out.
Oh,
we did
so
an event
good.
here actually a couple of weeks ago. There were about 80 of us,
Yeah.
vegans, non-vegans, which is incredible. I never thought you'd be able to get that amount of people with a common interest in veganism. Even though I still find it still incredible that we're such a minority.
Yeah.
That are interested in protecting our planet and improving people's health and obviously not killing animals meaninglessly.
People are interested, but only until they have to make some drastic changes for themselves, right? So it's very easy to be like, oh no, I'm never going to have plastic again, or never use a straw again, and this and that. And you'd be like, oh, well, why don't you cut down your meat consumption? They're like, yeah, but this and that. When it comes to actually changing something that you like, that you're attached to.
It's often the debate I have with people that eat fish because straws are a big trend at the moment. Stop using straws, which I agree with. If you don't need a straw, if you don't medically need a straw, then don't use one, regardless of the material. This is actually a piece of lemongrass, by the way. Is it lemongrass?
Yeah.
It's not straw.
It's a lemongrass straw.
Yeah.
Have you tried sucking from it? No.
Can you actually suck through that?
Oh.
I'm going to try it, actually.
Mine is blocked.
Okay, it's terrible. Don't never try to do that. But you start talking about plastics, people, they automatically think about coffee cups, they think about straws, which are very simple things to remove. But the biggest impact you can have is stop supporting the fishing industry, because half the plastic in the ocean comes from fishing.
Yeah, for sure.
But you mentioned that, and people are like, no, I won't do that.
And all the collateral damage that comes with it. My God, for one, I don't know what is it, like 1 ton of fish or 1 kilo of fish, there's like so many other animals that are dying.
Yeah, dolphins, whales.
Yeah, and this is it. And as soon as this concerns like dolphins, because people like dolphins, they're like, oh my God, save the dolphins. What about all the other animals, like all the other fish in the sea, There's so much more.
It's like with dogs, pigs, and sheep as well. That is a complete disconnect.
Speciesism.
Yeah.
Speciesism is huge.
But I do believe that is, if we can move away from that, we can put a stop to a lot of the discrimination that we have in our world as well. If you don't discriminate on all living beings, you're going to stop discriminating between humans as well. Because now we just put everyone into a box. You've got dog, pet it, cow, stab it in the throat. Even between humans, you have this huge amount of racism and social discrimination as well.
Absolutely.
So I think it'll be interesting when you have more and more children that'll be raised vegan, that are raised a lot more open-minded, to see how that affects society as well.
Indeed, and also they're raised in a more multicultural society than we even were.
Well, yeah, I suppose you don't have that in Sweden as much. The huge. Actually, now
we had a massive one. Like my friends I grew up with were all Syrians, Iranians. So there was that influx in the 80s. And then 95 when I was born.
Yeah, you're a real millennial.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you use memes more than most millennials do.
Yeah.
And I want to talk to you about your meme use, because I create memes. I think the only reason people follow my Instagram is because of the memes that I create.
You created the best meme of me.
Of you? Yeah, actually I did. I will put a picture of that in this. I was actually very proud of that.
Oh, no, I had so much response from that. It was really good.
Yeah, good. I'm glad. But that is the thing. Like, memes are so effective.
Absolutely.
I can put like hours into editing this and, I don't know, correcting the audio.
Make a meme of it.
Just make a meme, like one picture, and you get like triple the engagement.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's so
the
easy.
amount of messages you can get through there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you guys think I'm actually posting memes, but I'm working.
I'm actually fucking with your brain. Because how do you actually do it though? Because I literally spend about an hour a day going through your stories. Okay.
An hour.
Well, there's like 50,000 of them every single day. There's like 100 memes.
I've tried to cut down because I've had feedback from people. Yeah, they're like, can you like post like 10 because it's 2 minutes to go through. I'm like, yeah, what the fuck?
Why don't you just like not spend your time on your phone looking at them and let me do whatever I want?
Like, yeah.
It's your social media.
Yeah.
So where do you find them?
Well, if I say that, I would have to kill you.
I mean, if I was going to die, I'd rather you kill me than someone else. Do you just like screenshot a ton and then like send them all out in the morning?
I have a fucking stash in my phone. If someone found my phone, they would be the meme lord.
Really?
Yeah.
What's your favorite meme?
Oh God.
Do you have a favorite?
There's so many. But there's a game now. What's the meme?
Yeah.
That I've got.
You must be really good at that.
Actually, I'm really good.
We should
and
play.
my friends that I played with are probably going to sit there and I'll be like, oh, yeah. But
we should play.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. It's literally taking the meme game to the next level. But yeah, no, I don't know. There's so many memes out there.
Because it all goes through themes, doesn't it?
It does.
There was a big choking theme.
And it's also, sorry?
There was a big choking theme at one point.
I know I did get a lot of
Yeah.
questions asking if I enjoy choking, but
People think that it's always an
doesn't
individual
relate
choice, you know. It's
to
like,
me.
if
No.
it's funny, it's funny. It goes through all.
Exactly, and if all my memes related to me, I would be one bipolar person because I'm
Yeah.
literally talking about family one day, being single, being
Yeah, it's true. If you were trying to like draw a line of
Exactly.
what is her life about, you'd think you
Yeah,
got
no.
married, 3 kids, you were single, you were 50 years old, a man, a woman,
Exactly.
and a cat all
a
at the
gay
same.
man, yeah, probably a cat, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love it. I love it. I do love memes.
But as we're talking about your Instagram, which is by the way at @supersweet_, apart from the memes, pictures of you with tigers.
Yeah.
Tell us about the tigers.
So I worked when I first moved here 6 years ago. I started working with a Red Paw organization. I worked with a lot of organizations, animal rescue. Obviously, we have a huge issue with cats basically, rescue cats in this region, I would say, or I guess UAE. And not much is being done on a governmental level at the time being. So there's groups everywhere, that, and organizations and charities that are trying to, put a stop to all these cats having babies. So what we were doing is literally just a drop in the ocean. So it's just TNRing, rescuing cats, and trying to
That's
find homes.
trap neuter release, isn't it? TNR?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So trying to find homes, foster families, forever homes, and all that. So that's the main part of what we were doing. And it's quite draining, to be honest. I know a lot of crazy cat ladies in Dubai that are literally going crazy. They got like
It's just
30
never ending,
cats
isn't
at
it?
home. It's
Yeah.
never ending. This is the thing. So what I'm saying is like because
I even
we're
get
not
people
getting it from
messaging me now, asking me
Yeah.
like when they find a cat, like,
Oh,
can
yeah, I
you take
imagine.
it?
Yeah.
I'm
I
like,
get it all
I've
the
got
time.
2. I live in a
Yeah.
very small apartment. I can't
No.
take in another cat.
I
And
had
I'm sure you get
11
it.
I had 11 at one point.
So you got 7 now.
No, now I got 4.
4?
I
Okay.
took 2 to Sweden, so now I've got 2 more to
You still
adopt
got Thor
out.
though, haven't you?
Thor will always be with me.
Yeah.
Thor and Bella, they're mine. So
Yeah.
they're my rescues that I adopted.
Okay.
But the other
Thor
ones
looks
I've
like a
rescued.
very savoury character.
He's amazing. Seriously, I wish he could be here right now. He's a character
Yeah.
and a half. He tries to leave with everyone that comes to my house. The delivery man just walks out. I'm like, all right then, go.
Yeah.
My neighbors just walks in and lies in their bedroom. Yeah.
So-
No, he's amazing. And he was abandoned on his first birthday. So, but anyway, so it's primarily I worked with cats a lot, but then I have a huge interest in wild animal, and obviously the illegal wildlife trade in Dubai is rife because people have the money and the means here to have these animals as pets. So we're talking chimpanzees and lions and tigers, which are obviously really cute when you get them as a little cub or as a little baby. So I started working with a wildlife park that I don't really want to mention because I don't work with them anymore. It's a bit of a sensitive subject, but turned out not to be too ethical. So I had to stop working with them. But through that, I got a lot of connections in the wildlife industry, so to speak. I've had people calling me up trying to sell me tiger cubs
How much for?
80,000 a pop.
80,000 dirhams
For a little white tiger cub. It's like people that eat meat and drink milk and all that. They know what's going on behind the scenes. They know that it's not ethical, but they don't want to know. These people, obviously, they see a little cute tiger cub or a cute little chimpanzee. They don't think about the journey that cub or that baby had to take to come all the way across from Africa to here.
Yeah.
You know. So, for example, chimpanzees, which are incredibly strong. When they come over here, I mean, for a chimpanzee baby to be taken from its mom, the mom has to be shot. Yeah, so the mom gets shot, but they also have all the relatives around because they're often around in groups, right? So in order for one chimpanzee baby to become someone's pet in this region or entertainment, about 10 chimpanzees has to die. Actual trauma that this baby has been through. His whole family's been shot. He's been pried out of the arms of its dead mother. Obviously manhandled, because these people that do these atrocious things, they don't care about their life. They're just thinking about the money. So they're often boxed up in tiny boxes, shipped across, illegally coming in through Saudi, smuggled in basically. So the ones that do survive then go on to lead lives where they get dressed in human clothing, put on bicycles and God knows what, and not being able to live their natural life that they should do. You know, we have nothing to do with their lives. We shouldn't even be around them. We're blessed to even have them on the same planet as us, you know. But we always try, obviously, to take advantage of everything around us. Anywho, at about 5-6 years age, they get really, really strong and they get uncontrollable. So they reach sexual maturity at about 13-14. I mean, these apes live until they're about 50 in captivity.
Yeah, I mean, no one takes that into account, do they?
Exactly.
When they
I mean,
buy
people
one.
don't even take into account when they get a dog and cat.
Yeah, true.
Do you want it to for 15 years?
Yeah.
You know? So, and then they're not thinking that they're going to be dealing with a big ass fucking chimpanzee that's 5-6 times stronger than a grown man and uncontrollable. Even the most careful handler should never put their guard down, because you never know. These are wild animals. So people realize this normally after 6 months to a year, when they start becoming uncontrollable. They can't keep it in the house anymore. So they tend to give it up. So you're not just giving up a cat or a dog, but when you're giving up a tiger, a lion, or a chimpanzee, there's huge costs that comes with this.
What kind of infrastructure is in place for that?
Well, there's nothing in place for it. So there's these wildlife parks, but obviously, because they've been smuggled in a lot of the time, and they don't know the bloodline, and especially with chimpanzees and apes, because we obviously have diseases from them that could be spread. So sanctuaries, even in Africa, are very cautious about what apes they take and what monkeys they take, because they don't know the history. Same with lions and tigers. They don't know. They're not sure of the bloodline. They're not sure about how much incest, how much breeding has been done, so they can't.
You can't just like throw a group of them together.
Exactly, no, you can't. So, and another thing with the chimpanzees as well, you have a certain time limit that you can try to house it in a sanctuary, because when they reach 5, 6, 7 years old, they won't be able to go into a sanctuary where there's already groups of chimpanzees together.
The whole
they will never
hierarchy
accept
and,
her. So she will be on her own. So she will live a very sad life on her own. You know, they're very social animals. They're extremely intelligent. So same with orangutans, chimpanzees, all the monkeys that we're dealing with here that are cute as babies. No matter what, they say, oh, but they can go and live in a sanctuary afterwards. But no, you've ruined the first years, and also they learn from their mother for such a long time. So they don't know any behaviors of a wild animal. So they would never be able to fend for themselves. They get killed if they were to be put back in nature. Same with tigers and lions. Even if they've been bred for generations in captivity, they have no idea on how to behave like a tiger when they get out. And other tigers smell that and they feel that and they get killed.
Yeah.
So they have no chance of surviving. And this is what we do to these animals. For what? Just to have a fucking Instagram post, you know, with your lion.
Exactly.
We rescued a lion from a tower in Marina.
In a tower?
Yeah, a few years back.
They were keeping a lion in an apartment?
Yeah. And yeah, so the girl in question realized that when the lion turned 4 or 6 months old, that she couldn't keep the lion. But already then it's too late to try to teach the lion, you know, to try to...
Yeah, the learned behaviors are already...
Absolutely. So it's just so sad to see, and I get so angry when I see people having these tiger cubs and lions, because they don't know what they're doing, and they don't care about ruining a life.
What do you think about these reserves in Africa, where they kind of...
Canned hunting.
Yeah, so they kind of have the animals, and like someone can come and kill one, and pay like $50,000.
Yeah, it's absolute fucking
but then they're going to
bullshit.
use that money
saying that it's conserved.
for conservation.
No, just don't fucking kill them. End of. That's the biggest fucking bullshit excuse I've heard.
Because you hear it a lot at the moment on TV, and there were
course.
a lot of people going into because they want to kill the big 5 or the big 7 or whatever.
Of course.
Or
Oh my
whatever
God. It angers me so much. We're literally facing extinction, and this is what they do.
Yeah.
We're facing extinction on giraffes and elephants, which are the two most calm animals. How are we managing to do this? You know, and a lion, killing a lion, and I see people. They're smiling next to it. I'm like, we're fucking monsters.
It's horrible.
And people say like, oh, but why do you hate humans so much? Because when you work with animal welfare, you see what we're capable of.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely vile. I'm like, how the hell can we be the most intelligent species? And this is what we use our intelligence
I mean, if
for?
we were the most intelligent, we wouldn't be destroying our planet and killing it. We're a parasite
Exactly.
to the entire Earth.
Because of our ego and our feeling of superiority.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, I was kind of trying to understand the philosophy behind it, of why they were doing this, and they always try and bring up the argument of sacrificing one to save the many.
Oh.
But that only works if it's necessity.
Exactly.
Because when you talk about the argument, if you've got two trains, and one of the trains is like 100,000 people, and the other train there's 10 people, but one of them is your brother, or your sister, your daughter, which one do you choose? But this isn't even relatable to this situation, because neither of those trains has to crash. You don't have to kill that animal.
You don't have to fucking go out there and do it.
Yeah.
And you know, like the Trump administration, you know, so he keeps lifting bans and putting bans back in place, and there's 16 out of his 18 cabinet members are going on these trophy hunts.
Really?
They're all keen hunters.
Yeah, I mean,
so
he's just
if we
protecting
have
his
that in
friends.
power, they're saying that this is okay. You know, where does that leave us? And that's making it okay for people to go on these fucking hunts.
Yeah.
And just because you have money, you're allowed to kill. It's disgusting. It's disgraceful.
I mean, it's like, if I was, let's say I had money, which I don't, by the way, if someone was to go and, I don't know, if I was like, I've got loads of money, I want to go and kill someone, would that make it right, you know?
Exactly.
Just because I can.
I mean, I'm sure there's things out there as well, like, you know.
Well, we're not going to get into all child abuse and trafficking and all that stuff, but...
We'll be here again for like 4 or 5
yeah,
hours.
exactly. Hang on, so a quick sip of my... But on a more domestic level, because I'm sure you get it a lot, and now I've started getting it as well.
Yeah.
If someone finds a stray cat that they believe is abandoned, what would you recommend they do with it?
Take it to the vet. You know, be prepared that it could be costly. And this is obviously, it's a great shame that we can't bring the costs down more, but also the vets have businesses to run. But a lot of the cats on the street, especially if it's kittens that have a lower immune system, if they've been orphaned too young, they often have viruses and things that need to be dealt with, ringworm, you know, all these ear mites and all that stuff. So they probably need to be in the vet for a couple of days. So you need to be a bit prepared to be able to pay for that. Because also I get a lot of people messaging me saying, I found a kitten, can you take it? And I'm like, no, I can't.
I mean, a lot of people consider that helping because but it's just offloading it to someone else.
Absolutely. And also they were like, okay, I'm going to take it to the vet, but then I can't keep it. I'm like, but now it's your responsibility. And this is the thing. This is the thing. When you adopt or whatever, now it's your responsibility. Yeah. You take this step, and I'm not saying for people to not rescue animals, but you have to take that responsibility. You're now responsible for a life. You made the choice of picking up this kitten from the street. Do it. Take it through the procedures. There's loads of vets that you can do payments. You know, you don't have to pay the full amount at once. You know, there's always organizations that are willing to help if you don't have the funds or means to do it. But yeah, try to take responsibility for that life and see it for what it is. Man, you've done an amazing thing rescuing it off the street. Saying that though, not all cats need to be rescued off the street because we have millions, right?
Yeah, I've seen that. There are so many happy ones.
There's so many happy ones.
In car parks.
I have one in my car park.
Yeah.
Call her Fatty. She's really fat. She's like really fat. And she's so fucking happy. Yeah. I go and feed her. She waits for me every night when I come home. I sit down with her. I have a little talking session with her. She's like, oh,
heart to heart with Fatty.
Again. Yeah. And then she eats a little bit and she's just happy. And I know she hustles every floor. She thinks I don't know, but she hustles every floor.
Yeah, that's smart. And if you took her and put her in an apartment, she'd be miserable.
Exactly. Yeah. So not all cats need to be rescued. The ones that have sufficient food and water, they're in a safe place. I mean, the car park, I know it's safe, and people know that she's there, so they're careful when they drive. If you see an injured cat, of course, take it to the vet. If you see a tiny kitten, or that's another thing as well. If you see, say, 4 kittens in a car park and you don't see the mother around, you have to wait around. You'll get someone to check on them and just see if the mum comes back. Because a lot of the time we get calls saying, oh, I've just rescued these 4 kittens. And I'm like, how long did you stay and wait for the mum? They're like, oh, well, 10 minutes, she didn't come. So she might be away trying to find food or something for the kittens, and she comes back, her kittens are gone. And, you know, it's, so I tell them to take them back to the spot where you found them, keep an eye, see if the mum comes back, you know, stay at a distance so she doesn't get scared. Yeah. Otherwise, we then have to find feeders for these 4 kittens. So someone that feeds every 2 hours. Yeah. I've done that myself. You literally wake up throughout the night, every 2 hours, you bottle feed, making sure they're warm, because obviously these tiny kittens don't have their own immune system yet. Yeah, so there's a lot more to it than we think. Yeah. We can just take in a kitten and just feed it. Also, they don't produce their own body heat, so we need to make sure that they're always warm, have warm water bottles around, like a newborn baby, you know. But
if they're not kittens, then I suppose trap, neuter and release is the best you can do, isn't it?
For sure.
And they'll be happier outdoors than indoors.
If they
Isn't it?
live their entire life outdoors, then yeah, absolutely. And you can see them. They're always around like supermarkets and stuff, and people are feeding them. There's so many kind people in these communities that we're living in that are taking responsibility for these cats.
So actually, there's one thing I haven't talked about that's very important. What's a flexologist?
So a flexologist is a person that's very flexible.
Fair enough.
No,
I won't ask for any demonstrations.
I would not be a flexologist if I was, if that was the requirements. It's one-on-one stretching. So we have a stretch studio down in Times Square Mall. Plug.
Link down below.
Yeah. Where we have an amazing team of flexologists that will stretch you. You literally lie down on a bed and you get stretched. So we do something called a Pmf Stretch, which is like a really long word.
Is that like trap and neuter or
Trap neuter release?
You should do a TNR stretch. It's different.
How that would work. But it's so basically it's just allowing us to go deeper into the muscle. It's releasing a lot of toxins that are deep into your joints that you don't normally release. Obviously, we store a lot of toxins because of the environment that we live in, through the water that we drink, the pollution that we have in the air. It's all toxins, and that needs to store somewhere in the body. So we often store that in our joints. So when we do deep stretches, we release that. You obviously get more flexible and more mobile, and this is important as we get older as well because the body tends to stiffen up. We live a very sedentary lifestyle in Dubai. We're not moving around too much, so we get everyone coming in from top-level athletes to office workers that got like stiff necks and shoulders that need to get stretched out because they're sitting down for like 9 to 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
So you come in and you get stretched. Basically, you just lie there. I'm not saying it's 100% pleasant, but it's a pleasurable pain. Because the release after the stretch, you walk out feeling much lighter, your body feels great, it's a stress reliever, you sleep better, it's addictive. So people come in, because it's a new concept in Dubai.
I've never heard of it until I saw you were a flexologist.
Yeah, no, they're a little bit dubious.
I thought you'd forgot the before it, reflexology or something like that.
No, so because it's a new thing, people are a little bit skeptical. But once they try it, like this is amazing. It's better than a massage because you get stretched and like stretching yourself is so boring.
Yeah.
When I finish working out, I just want to go home. I just want to go eat. The last thing I want to do is
sit on your phone and post some memes, really.
Yeah, right. So the last thing I want to do is stretch, and it's probably the last thing I do, which is really bad because I'm a flexologist. So to be able to go somewhere and have someone stretch you out and stretch you much further into your muscles than you would be able to do yourself, it's a really good thing. So you can have a 20-minute stretch, say you just have some issues, you might have an injury. We do get a lot of CrossFitters coming in with their injuries. We get a lot of rugby guys that are super tight and super damaged. Get a lot of yoga people. Like it's literally every walk of life needs stretching.
Do you get many podcast hosts with terrible posture?
No, I mean you would be the first one.
Maybe soon.
Yeah.
I think it's necessary. It sounds fun.
Absolutely. Come in and get a stretch. Maybe we should do a podcast when you're lying there. We should do chapter
I'd be so
3.
scared. You'd push my leg and I'd like fart or something. Has that ever happened?
Not to me, but
I'm sure
we've spoken to this. I think there's been like a couple of cases.
I feel that's the first thing that's crossed my mind. You push the leg to the side a bit too much. Anyway, no, I'm talking about that.
People tend to be in control of themselves, but I don't know. It's really good pre-sports events after, when we have the marathon runs and stuff, people come in afterwards and some even come in a couple of days before. When we have boxing matches coming, the boxers come in a couple of days before. So it just really helps the circulation, helps everything.
But do you find you've become a better athlete since you've been vegan or the same?
I mean, I think there's other aspects to it as well because I train differently now. Generally better for the body because you don't have to digest all that meat, you have more energy. So absolutely, it's got tremendous health benefits for athletes. People's main concern, I think, is with themselves. It's their body. Am I going to be able to keep the gains?
Yeah.
And, is it going to be healthy for me?
It is a selfish process, isn't it? You're going to always start with yourself, and if it can benefit me, then I'll think about the ethical side.
Yeah, exactly.
I was discussing in a previous episode, I don't think anyone would be vegan, or maybe a very few amount of people, if it was genuinely detrimental to your health. If you didn't actually thrive on it.
Yeah.
If you actually needed animal products to survive.
But I'm saying that though, I mean, if my health was to suffer a little bit, for me to not eat.
Would you say lose 10 years of your life?
Oh, but I love life. I love my life. But this is it. Oh my God, this is a trick question because then someone else has to give up their life for me to live my life.
Ooh, yeah, I hadn't thought about it that deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really deep. That's another one of the philosophical questions, isn't it?
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Because maybe I can bring change during these extra 10
You
years.
already are bringing change.
Yeah, so, but then someone would have to give up their life. I don't know. It's a tough one because I don't want anyone to have to give up their life for me to be able to live. But it's obviously...
But even in veganism, you can't go into that whole perfection thing because you get into. I mean, I find it hilarious. Okay, how many people out there that I didn't realize that cared so much about plants' feelings and plants' pain?
Oh my God!
And their suffering. I didn't know there were so many people out there who had that in mind.
You know, they have feelings, and how can you?
Yeah.
And you know, and in actual fact, I say this to people, and they don't get happy when you have like counter arguments to it. But plants actually thrive when they get picked. They release a growth hormones that makes them grow faster when we pick the plants.
Yeah.
So it's meant for us. It's a circle of life.
Someone was telling me the other day that, you know, when you cut grass and the smell?
Yeah.
That is the grass warning the other grass that is being cut.
As well.
But how did they do that? How did they define that? How did they find that out?
Well, obviously they're very keen to do extensive research on that. You know, but they're not really willing to research how actual sentient animals are being treated. I don't know. I mean, everyone each to their own.
It's a bit of a ridiculous debate, really, isn't it?
It is completely. It's a joke. But this is how desensitized we've become. That we are comparing a fucking piece of grass to a living sentient being with smells and, you know, that can smell and see and experience and have feelings. We're comparing this to a carrot. Literally, we're like, but what about the carrot? But what? Like, how the fuck can you even come in this? I know they just say it's like trigger, but like, I just catch me on the wrong day. I'll tell you that.
I would not want to do that. I've seen you like working out from a distance on a phone, and that's scary enough. Like
from a distance.
Well,
You're like hanging outside.
I do that. Yeah. I do that. I watch people.
You stalk me.
I do. Yeah. I stalk Sarah. I know where she lives.
I've seen you at night.
Moving on. Awkward silence. So, considering you are a vegan nutritionist, we probably should touch on a little bit something scientific. And so, what's the difference between a vegan nutritionist and a non-vegan nutritionist?
Obviously, we know a lot more about the macros and how much macros we need and protein and where do you get your protein from, and you know how oversold we've been in the whole protein industry and how undersold we've been with the carbs. And carbs are our worst enemy, and just fucking eat as much protein as you possibly can, bro.
I was doing an episode with Tom from Plant Power, and his doctor told him that protein is poison.
Of course it is.
And it's so true.
We can only handle a certain amount of protein, you know, at a time. And it is, and I spoken to Tom about this myself, right after you did the podcast with him. We were talking about this because Plant Power, that I'm working with as well, plug
for Plant Power. Go to Plant Power, get 10% off your meal plan with the...
Yeah.
I can't remember what my code is, but it's somewhere. I'll put it down.
I got code too.
You can use Zara 10 or the Plant code.
Yeah.
The Plant code.
So, I mean... And people are always worried that the vegan diet is very carb heavy, and I do get a lot of messages on Instagram about that as well. They're like, I would like to try to be vegan, but I'm scared I'm going to gain weight. But again, it's about knowing what to eat. And like, don't be scared of carbs. We need carbs to function. Carbs is like our brain needs it. And when people tell me that they're completely cutting carbs out and this and that, you know, it's not healthy for us. We need to have a balance. We need to eat wholesome, healthy food. That is the key. If you want to lose weight, go into calorie deficit. If you want to gain weight, you eat more calories than you burn. It's as simple as
But that's the problem with the diet, though, isn't it? If you consider it a diet, it's going to end.
And this is, I hate the word diet. I mean, I use diet because it's actually not meant to be solely for that. A diet is a diet, whether you have that for life or not. It's a diet.
I mean, I don't know anything about nutrition or health in general. I mean, anyone who knows me knows that. But when I looked into the keto diet, that freaked the fuck out of me.
And also, this is so funny, because when I say I'm vegan, they're like, oh, but how do you get your nutrients and everything? And everyone's so concerned about my health all of a sudden. And then you got someone next to me, they're like eating a fucking lard and bacon
butter
for breakfast.
in their coffee.
And they're like, awesome,
great,
you can do losing weight.
Or not eating fruit.
Because the keto is all about how you look, because we see all these drastic changes. And of course, any fucking diet is going to have drastic changes.
I've heard it gives you really bad breath.
Oh, I don't
and it
know.
makes your dick smell.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if that's true. I'll have to check it. I'll cut it out if it's not. But if it's true, another good reason not to do that.
Ew, that's gross.
That is, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how I found that out. Second awkward silence.
At least to make up a fucking scenario how you found that out.
Yeah, no, I have nothing. Literally nothing. I think someone told me. I think
Yeah.
that's good enough.
Oh, did you see it in a meme?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Memes is
Alright,
my
yeah.
only source of information these days. I don't bother with.
That's why people fail at life, because if I can take life advice from my memes.
Yeah. Well, it works for some, doesn't it? Really.
Yeah. It worked for me all these years.
Yeah.
So no, but this is the thing. Like, it's any kind of change you do to your diet will have an effect on you. You will lose weight to begin with, and then you're going to become stagnant. Yeah, you need to switch it up, switch up the exercise, switch up what you're doing. Your food is obviously hugely important too, if you want to lose weight. Yeah, your diet is very important, but it needs to be something that you can maintain, that you can make into a lifestyle. Same with exercise. You know, you need to be able to make it into a lifestyle. You can't just do something for 3 months, fall off, and then start again. Same thing with a diet. You don't just do that for a couple of weeks until you've lost a good amount that you're happy with, because you're just going to put it right back on. All these stupid fucking banana diets and all that shit, you know?
I think that's why veganism sticks, because it's not just a diet. There's a whole other aspect, environmental
Absolutely,
and
of
animals
course.
to it.
Yeah,
So I think that's
100%.
why it sticks with people a lot more.
Yeah, and I think that's the people that do it to lose weight. I think these are the ones that end up saying, you know, I tried it and I failed at it. And it made me gain weight, or I was feeling sluggish, or I wasn't getting all the nutrients that I needed. So of course, like I always say, like, for people that do want to try going vegan seriously, get a meal plan, get like Plant Power or something, and
Use
then,
my discount code.
or use my discount code if you want to get a free meme with the
Free meme with a.
Oh my god, I'm gonna do that.
I make my own memes though.
Yeah, so do I. What are you trying to say?
You steal yours.
No, I don't. I fucking make every single one of them.
You got way too much free time.
Yeah. But yeah, so start with if you do want to go vegan, start with a meal plan. It will give you an idea of what to eat, and I think it's a great way to do it,
Yeah.
to start off. And then I think I think I started like maybe with Tom a year after I gone vegan, and it really opened my eyes to what I can do, and like looking at the recipes and, you know, how he puts things together, and I'm like, oh my god, that's amazing. And because what I like to do with my food, I love, as I said, you know, I have my comfort foods, you know, like lasagna or spaghetti bolognese and these kind of things that I've had through childhood. And for me, it's very important to be able to recreate these dishes in a vegan way, and I want to be able to have the same comfort feeling when I eat them. And nowadays, obviously, we're so blessed with all the processed
Yeah, the mock meats
meat
and-
replacements and everything. So if you want to use that, by all means, it tastes the same, because you obviously season it the same way you would with meat. But there's so many ways that we can do it, and I think this is how Plant Power opened my eyes to that, to see the different variations. So there's so much, and I cook so much more than when I wasn't a vegan. When I wasn't vegan, I was eating eggs and chicken every day.
Yeah, I mean, and we think that's healthy, don't we? I
Yeah,
mean, I see what
I
I used to eat on my days off
Yeah.
after the one time I went to the gym that time, 10 years ago. It was like 2 boiled eggs and a can of tuna.
And this is what we think is
And
good.
we think that's good
we're
for
like,
you.
yeah, bro.
Yeah, no.
And when I lived in London, I was training a lot then. I was having steak for breakfast every day. I was having a small steak with cashews. I was basically doing the keto diet, but I didn't know it at the time. I'm addicted as well.
Took a while for that to register, actually.
I was having.
Every time someone
steak.
says keto, you're going to think of that now, aren't you?
Yes, definitely. I'm gonna be like, ew.
Ooh.
But yeah, I was having steak with avocado and cashew nuts for breakfast.
Yeah.
And it fucking tasted great. I don't know what it did to my body, but yeah. So I've been there. I know what it's like.
And to wrap this up, I want to talk a bit about mindset, because as your personal trainer, you're like constantly in the gym, right? And you are very fit. I mean, people can obviously see that. Like, how do you stay motivated every day to like get up, get active, and improve your body as well? Because that does affect your mind.
Because I think as a personal trainer, you are your own business card. This is your business card that you're working with. And if people look at you and you can't take care of yourself, then they're going to be dubious that you can take care of them, that you can change their habits. And I think for me as a personal trainer, the reason why I became a personal trainer is because I want to help people, right? Fitness has not always been like my passion. Animal welfare has always been my passion, animals. So that is my passion. But I can help people through fitness and through the diet. But first and foremost, I help them through their mental state.
Yeah.
Because this is what needs to change first, right? In order to be able to make it into a lifestyle, you need to take away the chore aspect of them. Oh my God, I have to go to the gym now. Like, make it fun, switch it up, you know, and set challenges and
It's true if you see it as a positive thing to go there. You see the benefits you're going to get rather than say, oh, I've got to pull myself through this pain.
Yeah, but also you need to enjoy the interaction with your personal trainer. So it's all about the relationship you have with them as well. And also that you enjoy and you see the results that are coming. But I thoroughly thrive on training my clients because there's such a great exchange of energy. And I think through my Instagram is not fitness related as such. You know, I have a few fitness posts here and there, but it's basically about me. It's about my interest in animal welfare, you know, all my passions. And I think that's what attracts, because I get majority of my work through Instagram. And it's people that see what I'm about and they're being attracted because of that, you know, not because maybe I did a bikini competition and I came...
Did you win?
I would never do a fucking bikini competition. I enjoy eating too much.
I think you'd rock it.
No. I want, if I want to have a glass of wine in the evening, I will fucking have a glass of wine in the evening. So, you know, I enjoy life, I enjoy eating. So, and to me, doing a competition like that, it's not fitness, it's not health. These people that stand up on the stage there is in possibly the worst shape of their life internally. They look great, but internally, fuck knows what's going on with all the drugs. So they're possibly at their most unhealthiest stage in their life. And they, I mean, as we see, they stand on the stage there and it's like, who can pump themselves full of steroids and still stand up and be the most tanned?
Yeah.
And I absolutely applaud these guys for the determination and the discipline that they have to get to this point. I mean, their bodies look phenomenal, but it's not for me. I'm not passionate enough to be able to have that discipline.
And we put way too much focus on the exterior and not on the interior these days.
But this is it. They stand up there and they look amazing, and you take a look inside and they're rotting away.
Yeah.
You know, and then it becomes very unhealthy, the mindset in terms of food, and you know how they react to food, and they always talk about donuts and burgers and this and that, and after the comms they fucking go crazy.
Yeah.
What's it's doing to our bodies? We're not supposed to be eating like this, you know. So I have huge respect for them that they're able to achieve it, because I don't have that discipline, but I wouldn't want to do it for that reason. For me, fitness is about health, it's about feeling good, it's about long-term health, it's about being healthy into your 50s, 60s, 70s.
The thing is, we want immediate results, don't we? We want to get fit now, we want to get ripped now, we want 10 million subscribers now.
But we don't want to work for anything.
Yeah, it's true.
We don't want to wait for results. We don't want to work. We just want to, we just want to take a pill, a magic pill, when it comes to absolutely everything. We want to reach a CEO position without having to work. We want to be super fit, which is why everyone's getting surgery now. And then they realize 5 years down the line, they're like, shit, I have to go to the gym anyway because you need to maintain it. There are no quick fixes. Just fucking get in there, change your mindset, when it comes to diet, when it comes to training and everything around you, and adapt a positive mindset and make sure that it's long-lasting.
And on those fine notes, if you do want to have Zara as your personal trainer, do check out her Instagram at @superswede_. And for free, you get like 10,000 memes a day. And what more could you possibly want from that?
Before I start charging for them.
You should actually. $1 a meme.
Yeah.
Then you can stop training as well.
But I like training.
Oh, yeah, true.
Which was
Do what you love.
Yeah, exactly.
Zara, thank you for joining me today. It was amazing talking to you. I look forward to having you back soon.
Yes, let's do it.
Let's do it. And let's do a meme contest. Let's play What Do You Meme?
What's the meme?
What's the meme?
I'm on it. All right, cool.
It's happening.
I'm holding you down. And
we'll do a live scorecard thing.
That'd be awesome. We have to do it. Okay,
that'd be really fun.
All right, cool.
Have a great day, guys. Tune in next week for another episode of the Plant Co podcast. And do check out Zara at SuperSwede. Links down below. Have a great day.
That's the year that they're saying's our last. Unless we make a change now, and we gotta be fast. But first we gotta make a shift in what we put in our mouths. See, silly Billy's thinking vegans eating grass on the ground. We talking fast food, yo, it's burgers and fries. And it used to hurt the earth and the birds in the sky. But now they making it with plants, and it's so much better. Cause the animals are safe, no more changes in the weather. We better act fast, cause the ice barely freezing. The world's changing quick, so welcome to Planet Vegan. Woo! Damn, man, can you feel that? This place is getting hot. If we wanna save the world, it'll take some work. If you wanna make it better, then take off your shirt, wave it round your head, and jump into the streets. The revolution starts now. Can you feel its heartbeat? If we wanna save the world, man, we better be quick. Cause we're killing all the piggies and the cows and the chicks. And I gotta be honest, I ain't a fan of our fate. But we can make a change now, and it starts on our plates. All around the world, it's a brand new dance. What you're making out of bodies, yeah, we're making out of plants. We gotta save the pigs and the fishes in the sea. So hold on to your pants, Planet Vegan soon to be. There's a change up in the system, I can feel it in the air. But it benefits us all, there's no need to be scared. We're gonna change the world and we'll do it in a day. So don't fight the future, Planet Vegan's here to stay. If we wanna save the world, it'll take some work. If you wanna make it better, then take off your shirt, wave it round your head, and jump into the streets. The revolution starts now. Can you feel its heartbeat? If we wanna save the world, man, we better be quick. Cause we're killing all the piggies and the cows and the chicks. And I gotta be honest, I ain't a fan of our fate. But we can make a change now, and it starts on our plates.
Massive forest fires have once again decimated the Californian coastline.
Iceland just held a funeral for the first glacier ever lost in the country's history due to warming weather patterns.
Europe was just hit with the hottest temperatures in recorded history.
Thousands of people are already dying every year from climate change-related issues, and this number is expected to rise exponentially over the coming decades.
Okay, this apocalyptic nightmare's about to be real. Forest fires, oceans flooding, let it fill you with fear. A billion refugees running across the borders in pain, and they're drowning while you're saying you're refusing to change. Slaughterhouses filled with bodies and they're letting out screams, but you're saying it's a lie, that it's only a dream. Let me tell you something, man, the nightmare is real, and you're paying for it daily with your supersized meal.